I came up with the title during the mixing process. And coming up with titles of anything is kind of hard for me. But like, I wanted something that was like, I wanted all of this to be as authentic as I possibly could. You know, the painting with my dad, you know, her on the song, most of the people on the project, except for a little handful are friends of mine. And it was like, it was working with my friends. And then like to show the like old school and like antique side of me and like how I grew up. Like my parents collect antiques and my dad's a classical artist. My mom has like 500 teacups, all that kind of stuff. So it was like a whole brand. But like with Tabula Rasa, Scrape Tablet, I was looking up stuff for a couple days of a second chance. Like, what is a second? Like, another way to say a second chance that wasn't just second chance. Because I had like 30 names somewhere on my notes on my phone. There's like 30 horrible album names, and I was just like, all right, what's me? Because so what it represents is, I got sober a month before I turned 18. I was doing a little bit of time. I was in trouble with a few different states. I was facing a lot more jail time. And I was going down a very, very, very dark path. And I was already in a pretty dark place. And it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And it was finally catching up to me. I found a higher power in solitary confinement, and then ended up doing a federally funded drug program while I was in county. And it was, a program that was like 90-day program. You had to be up by 5:30, beds made military style, 5:35. You're in programs, classes, all this kind of stuff from like 6:30 a.m. until 8 p.m. And that was scraping the tablet right there. Boom. I was stripped of my old life, and I was able to rebuild a new life. And I got sober. I used AA, and I created an entire new life. And I got my family in my life. I got new friendships. And then down the road, I found music, creating music. I had always wanted to when I was younger, but I always had drugs and stuff and things just in the way. And then, around the time of like 20-ish, 21, I started being able to do music. And then, again, Scrape Tablet, Tabula Rasa comes back in when I moved to New York City. Because it was like, not to forget my roots, but it was like, I'm starting fresh once again. I went to Toka Tuesday for the first time. And I was like, when I first got here, I was introducing myself to everybody. I was like, that's somebody? Let me go get really scared and nervous and just talk to them. Like, I'm just putting myself out there every time I possibly could. And I met Rich Medina. And he was just like, he actually talked to me for like 5 minutes. And the biggest thing that he like conveyed to me was to be humble. And it was like right when I moved there. And at that point, I was just like, yo, I'm an open book. I'm going to shut up. And like, I'm just going to be humble and start fresh. That's the best thing I could possibly do. And that's what I did. So, it had a couple of meanings, and I hope other people can put a meaning of Tabula Rasa to their own life too. That's the big reason why I make music, is so people can look at their own life and listen to this and escape life at the same time. I mean, I feel like I probably mentioned it here and there, and like there's not something that's like right, like, oh, this is what I want people to hear or this or that, but it's like, this was a really big deal, for me. I mean, it might not be everywhere, it might not be on billboards, but like this was like, I still think about it sometimes, like the little New Hampshire, Maine kid that's, spinning at like these little crap shows and like hoping he gets to work with a bigger artist. Like, Not like, oh, I made it, but like, you know. Also, that kid that was like strung out on drugs. It's like, yo, you really gotta believe in yourself, and like, you really have to like believe that you can do anything. I was lucky enough to see my father being a starving artist growing up, and then find like he put like that's how we had food on the table. Was like we would have money for a little bit, and then we would have no money for like 6 months. And it was like, but the thing was, he was happy, and we had creativity, and we had love, and you know, because he had a passion for painting. And you know, now I'm able to do that. I can hope that she sees that she sees that you can pay your bills by doing something you love, and like really anything's possible. Like I got fired from a job that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me the only time, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do music full time from now on. And that's what I've been doing. And that was in New Hampshire, and I even figured it out there. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to live life with no regrets. I cannot do that. I cannot be an old man and look back and say, I wish I did that. So I said, I'm moving to New York. And I made the plan. Boom, I have to be in New York, because for me, I was like, yo, the internet's cool. And we talked about there's amazing things on the internet. But for me, like I use the NPC, I'm a Sagittarius. Like I got to be like active and physical. I was like, I gotta be around creatives. I gotta find a team. I gotta find a tribe. I gotta like be pushed. I gotta like find people that are not gonna just yes me to death. And that's exactly what I did. And I moved out here, and I stayed humble. And I try to stay humble as much as I possibly can. Still, I don't know what she's looking at. It's hilarious. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know if there's a concise message out there, but like, just do what you love. And Stag even says it on the intro, like, find what you love and do it. Like, sometimes it's that simple. Like, find what you love and do it. And also, like, anyone that is thinking about getting sober or they're struggling with being sober, yeah, I know, you love this part too. Like, reach out to me. I would love to talk to anybody that's, struggling with sobriety or needs help around that. Because in this industry, in life it's hard, but in this industry it's crazy. It's very crazy, and I see a lot of artists that feel like they can't do it. They might lose their creativity. But you know what? I feel like I can be very creative, and I also can tap into a lot more things that I wouldn't be able to if I was hungover. You know what I mean? Or if I was stressed out as much as I used to be. So, there's a lot to be said about that, I think. And are you willing? That's the biggest thing. Are you willing? Because a lot of people will say, oh, yeah. But it's like, yo, are you willing to, like, not sleep? Are you willing to, for me, it was like, I was willing to, look for parking for 3 hours. I was willing to pick people up for free every single day. I was willing to do little cleaning up the studio and, like, doing little things and, like, paying dues and, like, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people don't see. There's a lot of, with artists, like, there's a lot of doubt people don't talk about. There's a lot of, like, self-loathing and, like, this isn't good enough. And, and there's the good points. It's like, it's such, like, being creative is so high and low. And it's like, are you willing to do that? Or are you willing to have that 9 to 5 and to, like, go home to your couch every day?